Have you guys heard the thought experiment that a man's favorite superhero tells you everything there is to know about them? My favorite superhero is, I think, Nightcrawler. His vibe, objectively so sick. Name a sicker vibe. Second of all, teleportation is just so cool. I wanted teleportation before I had to experience traffic behind the wheel of a car, and I feel like that should prove its efficacy. But I feel like one thing that everyone's favorite superhero has in common is at least a good superpower. For every superhero that's just insanely well kitted, there's a superhero that is not. And most of my case is built around Stan Lee's superhumans. Most of this stuff is just like people getting hit real hard. In season 1 alone, human speed bump, human crash test dummy, and human hammerhead. This show is ridiculousness, but instead of Rob Dyrdek laughing, it's Stan Lee being convinced that you're a superhero.
My name is Stan Lee. I believe superhumans are real. Meet Daniel Browning Smith. He was born with an incredible power. He's the world's most flexible man.
I want to talk about the world's most flexible man for just like a second. First of all, that's crazy impressive. That's insanely impressive. But does that raise to the level of superpower? You have to consider what he just did on that rooftop a superpower for this casting choice to make any sense at all. I think it's infinitely funnier that Stan Lee just chose the world's most flexible man to help him find these people.
Stan Lee has sent me to investigate 4 more people to see if their abilities really are superhuman.
Hey, what was that guy's power? What do we think his power was? Because old boy was just in a train station just hitting one of these. Stan Lee's like, I gotta check this guy out.
I've come to Boston to meet a man who claims to have a real-life power of indestructibility, just like the Incredible Hulk. Professional wrestler John Ferraro, aka Gino Martino, is rumored to have
CTE.
The planet's hardest head.
I think there has to have been a point in this show where Stan Lee got disappointed with the people he could find in the real world. Like, after creating Spider-Man, it's gotta be so disappointing when you pull up on a really buff guy who's like, I've got the hardest head on God's green. This bad boy? I mean, you heard that.
I've always been skeptical about wrestling. I'm sure it's just actors hamming it up, and the blows are completely fake. I'm looking for real-life superhumans.
Wrestlers aren't pretending to be superheroes. All these wrestlers think that I think they're superheroes. You're not getting one over on me. I can see you just fine, John Cena. I'm looking for a real superhero. The WWE thinks I can't tell the difference between this and this. And that's frankly insulting.
John claims to have discovered his apparently indestructible head during a childhood accident. He tripped and flew headfirst into a solid oak door. But instead of being knocked out, he had smashed it clear off its hinges.
Okay, now do we think that speaks to the condition of the door or to the indestructibility of that child?
As a professional wrestler, built a career around dishing out spectacular head blows.
I really like how this guy framed everything with, I don't know about wrestling. And then in the next breath, he'll just be like, check out these spectacular head blows, dude. This is that real stuff. This is that superhuman stuff.
John's gonna let his brother Joe bash him in the head with a sledgehammer.
Okay, man, look, first of all, I don't think you think your head is indestructible. Look how nervous he was. If your superpower is indestructibility, I don't think this is what you should look like before you get hit. I think he and his brother submitted an application to this show as a joke. That's why when the other guy walked in, he was like, who are you? Who are you? Because he wasn't expecting them to actually show up.
It's crazy, so your head really is tough.
I'm most physically tough skull probably in the world.
Well, let's prove it. Let's do some more stuff, man.
You got it, baby.
Let's get a bowling ball.
Let's get a bowling ball.
Nah, dude, the human anvil is regretting his decision so much right now. He's just like, yeah. Let's do some more stuff. Sure, let's get a bowling ball.
Let's get a bowling ball.
In 3, 2, 1.
Nice! That's how you hit, boy. That's a strike.
You got a little bit of blood right here.
Sometimes it's
Sometimes it's what? Sometimes it's destructible? Because it shouldn't be. if your story is straight.
John makes a modest living putting on performances in the local community. But to keep the crowds coming back for more, each show needs to be more shocking than the last.
Who's putting pressure on this poor man to keep upping the showmanship? Big Dave threw a bowling ball onto bricks, onto your head. And then you're going home after a performance like, gotta figure out how to wow those people.
What I do is I drive a spike through a 2x4. I may bruise a little bit, I may bleed a little bit. It's just part of the course. Everything I do is dangerous, everything I do is risk.
Yeah, man, it's part of the course. Wait, no. Your power is that your head isn't part of the course. I don't think you're about to have like an indestructible head and then be like, I might bruise, I might bleed, might knock out, might even die. That's normal. I mean, what do you expect to happen? If you don't think you're gonna bleed, you do it then. Oh, okay. Okay.
This time, with nothing absorbing the energy, John's head is taking the full force of every impact.
Okay, dude, this show's great.
It's brutal to watch. Withstanding,
Dude, then back up. Like, look at her.
or even worse, crack bone.
Are you alright, dude?
Yeah.
That was crazy. This is crazy.
You know? When I hit it, something's gonna break.
I mean, you look rough, but you seem fine. And you're totally in an alert mental status.
Yep.
As the host of this show, I feel like you're an asshole for saying, and you're completely fine too. Like, you're of alert mental status. You could probably recite the alphabet to me right now, right? Pulls out a little notepad, right?
I mean, I gotta figure out how you're able to
right.
do this.
To help me get some answers, I'm taking John to Harvard Medical School to meet neuro.
I know that they're going there to like put some brain scanners on him, but it's so funny to me that he's just like, I'm taking this guy to the hospital.
It's not a question of pain, it's a question of why isn't he getting knocked out? Why doesn't he feel sick afterwards?
Hey guys, he does feel sick afterwards. This guy so clearly feels sick afterwards.
Incredibly, John's skull is 16 millimeters thick, twice that of an average human.
And so, how's his brain looking?
I mean, given what he's been doing to his skull, this doesn't look abnormal.
She says, I mean, yeah, it looks normal, considering. And the thing we're considering is repetitive head trauma.
Bow, 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 bow. That's that booty meat.
I've come to Edinburgh, Scotland, hoping to take a glimpse into destiny with a man who claims he can predict the future. That's because Christopher Robinson is rumored to have the power to dream events that have yet to happen.
Dude, insane choice. Absolutely insane editing choice right there.
The night before, Chris claims he dreamed of the Lockerbie air disaster, a terrorist attack that killed 270 people when Pan Am Flight 103 exploded over Scotland.
Oh, they're actually doing it.
Chris decided next time he wouldn't wait for a tragedy to happen.
This guy is literally the meme. You guys got away with this one, but I'm not just gonna sit idly by and let you guys do this again, all right? I've got a handful of melatonin right here.
The IRA attempted to blow up a British military concert near London, but Chris claims he already dreamt of the plot and informed the authorities. Police secured the area, and the two terrorists were the only victims when the bomb exploded. I find it hard to believe Chris really has the power to predict the future.
I love this flexible guy because he will just treat wrestling and this guy's ability to tell the future with the same exact level of skepticism.
Who I've asked to analyze Chris's brain activity while he sleeps.
So if you just get you to sit on the edge of the bed here. If you just take a seat there, and if you can't be the...
Dude, he looks so cozy. Dude, this is like, oh man. Can I do sleep tests? If I get to have a cozy little pajama and then I get to have Stevie tuck me in, you take your scans.
To find out if Chris's dreams can really reveal the future, I've set him a seemingly impossible challenge. I've asked him to try and predict the mystery location I'll be taking him to tomorrow.
Dude, that's not how this works. Unless you're planning an elaborate heist, unless you're planning a prison break, he's not gonna dream about it, all right? He's got bigger fish to fry.
If the notes Chris made last night during his dreams match or describe where we'll end up, it will be astonishing. But Chris looks perplexed.
So, none of this is ringing a bell immediately?
Not immediately.
Dude, honestly, it's kind of sad watching him like try and justify his dreams from the place they just dropped them off at.
There's a narrow arch. Maybe there's a big green there with the narrow arch, which would make that fit more.
Well, maybe over there, you see where the green is? Maybe that could be, maybe that's a narrow arch? Actually, no, that's a narrow arch.
A narrow arch next to a park? Could this be the Scott Monument in Prince Street Gardens just 100 feet away?
That one, that's your most compelling piece of
A
evidence.
steam engine. Could this represent the historic Edinburgh railway station once filled with steam trains directly behind the clock tower? And could this be the 4 eggs in a bowl that Chris dreamt about?
Okay, wait, hold on. Now that they're doing that, I'm being told it's a bowl, but I'm looking at it and it looks like a little top hat.
I'm Daniel Browning Smith, and I'm on a journey to find superhumans. My search has brought me to Brooklyn, New York, to meet beatboxer Kenny Muhammad, who calls himself the Human Orchestra.
Could you imagine being so good at beatboxing that Stan Lee reaches out to you and is like, dude, I don't know how you're gonna take this. You might be a superhero. I just want to check. The co-host needs to be thanking his absolute lucky stars right now that he has this job. Because we've seen 3 people and this guy hasn't done anything flexible not one time. It does seem like his qualifications were actually just is more flexible than most and will do it.
Got you.
You fucking got him, dude. I bet you thought there was like a trumpet. I bet you thought there was like 3 bongos and like an alien making those sounds. Nah, dude, nah. Yeah, man, look, if your superpower takes requests, you've lost.
I'm much more than a beatboxer. I'm a human ear bender. I bend air and I form it into sound that explodes and ignites. That's what I do.
I love this dude, Kenny Muhammad, so much. I am also now of the opinion that everybody with superpowers should describe it the way that he does. Honestly, everyone who can beatbox should describe it this way.
I've called in Langdon Crawford, a music technologist from NYU.
The name Landon is infinitely worse if you add a G anywhere into it. Landon? Landong? Langdon?
So this is 93 milliseconds between the beginning of this hit and the beginning of the next hit.
Can I do that?
He's getting more than 10 hits in a second.
Could you imagine how dope it would be to be Kenny and have like a professor of music tell you how scientifically cool you are at beatboxing? That's pretty sick.
We've also uncovered the incredible speed of his delivery. Now I want to find out, how is this physically possible?
So we're taking this guy to the hospital. Dude, they're gonna look down his throat. I actually don't want to watch that. All right, that's pretty much gonna do it for today's video, you guys. I don't know if you're allowed to consider this episode a success for what they set out to do. Like, if you find out that MI6 or the CIA is sending 3 superhumans after you, it's the Human Anvil, Future Man, and Super Sound, I would be scared. At that point in time, I'm assuming someone's gonna predict my crime, distract me with the sound, and then drop on me from very up high. But if I was then confronted with this collection of superheroes, if these were the people sent to stop me, I would instantly become much more comfortable and maybe a little bit offended with my threat level. I do want to let you guys in on a little channel tradition. I do this at the end of every video. Don't go back and check or anything. I like to end all of my videos by using airbending to become a human orchestra. All right, bye guys.